What's up guys, welcome back. In today's video I have 5 bonus battles that I wanted to show you in last video because it was recorded yesterday, but just did not have enough time. But these were awesome battles, like, oh my gosh, I'm so stoked about these battles. The last one I did lose and I made like 2 dumb mistakes, and well, one, but the other one was a lack of experience mistake, which I want to talk about to help you learn from it. But the first 4 were, man, I was just like out of my game. I don't know what I was doing, but but I was just like making moves, baby. So let's just get into it, cause yeah, I was so stoked on these. First battle, we got Carlin. I forgot the last part of his name, but we have an ALTARIA lead, a common lead. I didn't talk about this yet because I think it's pretty obvious that if you land an ice beam, you're gonna win the matchup. But I like to throw a bubble beam first, because they're probably not going to shield it, and it kind of gets them thinking you're going to throw another one. So what I do is I throw a ice beam right after that, and I have to shield, obviously. And I'm surprised, even though I shielded, they didn't like put 2 and 2 together that I was going to throw an ice beam. I wouldn't have really shielded otherwise, just to throw a bubble beam most likely. But we land it, and oh man, that felt good. So we win the lead. Barely win the lead there, and I'm able to get a bubble beam off on the Meganium. I think I maybe could have got that second one off, but it's the stupid overtapping mechanic. Anyways, so I switch out into low battery. I switch out into my low battery, and I switch out to Stunfisk. And I'm not familiar with this matchup. I do know Stunfisk is weak to ice, so obviously I have to watch out for ice punches. At least it's not as bad as Avalanche, but I do know, I think I know that because it's part steel, it should be weak to ground. And so I'm going for Mud Bomb here. I'm not going for Discharge. So we're going to see if we land one here, and we do, and it is super effective. So it does a really nice sized chunk of damage. But yeah, so we're going to lose this matchup because we're out of shields, but that's okay because we have Skarmory, and this Sky Attack, I try to undercharge, but I know it's probably going to knock it out anyways. And then we have a Meganium, so it's GG's from here. They realize it at some point that they're not going to win. I think they quit at the end. So yeah. Anyways, the highlight of that match was landing that Ice Beam on ALTARIA. Didn't even see it coming, and it was awesome. That just put us at a huge advantage for that match. Okay, second game is against Guate Boy. Anyways, this is the one we talked about in the last video against Registeel. So here I actually decide to, and this was before I studied the matchups on PvPoke. So before I ran the sims, before I learned like the optimal strategy. So you're gonna see me here not apply like the optimum strategy, but we end up getting lucky with the team comps, and it ended up working out quite well for us. And so okay, so we go straight Bubble Beam, and he goes straight Flash Cannon. Neither of us shield, so that's literally all that's going on right now, is just Bubble Beam, Flash Cannon, Bubble Beam, Flash Cannon. So we're getting close to the end, but we're able to get one more Bubble Beam. And if you do want to win this matchup, just shield one time, like the first one, and just throw straight Bubble Beams. You should be able to win. So you know, if you want to win that lead matchup, which is important. So I decide, because it's low enough, I decide to just farm it down. Now watch how little damage Flash Cannon does, because it's 4 times debuffed, and yeah, it did absolutely nothing. We farmed a ton of energy, and then poor Haunter comes in. Haunter's usually deadly, but not against a Stunfisk with a crap ton of energy. Like, the Haunter has no choice. They decided to not shield that second one, which means I can shield this one. I don't even care what move it is. I just want to make sure I'm alive. So I shield, and then I farm down. And then they have an Azu in the back, which is just going to be even more annoying for them, because we have loaded energy, discharges, just going to be flying at him. And yeah, this was unfortunate. And it was unfortunate for them with their team, because, you know, they can't anticipate me having Stunfisk. So their team could have been pretty good, but luckily, the way it played out, we were able to farm that Registeel, and yeah, just unload all of that energy on these last 2 Pokemon. we actually won this match without even touching Skarmory. So, so Skarmory, we didn't even get to see any playtime. So, yeah, sorry about that, Skarmory. You sat the bench that round. But next match we have another Registeel lead. Okay, so I'm playing this part of the video a little bit faster, just so that we can kind of go through it. But yeah, Bubble Beam again, and I don't shield. So it's funny because that last match, I literally had a Registeel lead, and the farming with Stunfisk worked so well. I kind of think maybe I could pull it off again, but it does not work. It does not work because they didn't have a Haunter coming in. So I don't recommend doing that. I recommend shielding that first Flash Cannon. Definitely shield the first Flash Cannon, because you're not always going to get lucky with a Haunter and an Azu in the back. You just don't know. So it's safer to just win that lead matchup, and you can keep one shield, so that's like a really good spot to be in. So we try to farm down. I had less health this time, so I don't know if the IVs were worse, but yeah, I had less health. I couldn't farm it. Then it has Cresselia, and I'm like, oh crap, because I know that Cresselia just learned Grass Knot, and it looks like a bunch of people already caught it and already are using it, and so I know I have to shield. But then I do something super cheeky here. I mean, it's a technique you need to apply at some points. I count moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I swap out at the 6th one and totally catch the Grass Knot with the Skarmory. Oh, that was perfect. I don't know how many Psycho Cuts off the top of my head it takes to get the Grass Knot, so I just assumed 5. That's why I counted to 5, just like as a default. I'll put on the screen there though how much it really takes, just because I'll check after I'm editing this. But yeah, that was perfect because that Cresselia just dumped all the energy into Skarmory with a very ineffective charge move, and so now we're able to do this. And now our switch timer came back up, or our clock ran out, whatever. So now I can switch. And so watch this. Watch this. Oh man, this poor Altaria. Oh, didn't even get to use its energy. Oh man, I hate when that happens to me. So I can only imagine how upset they're feeling right now. They had a lot of energy built up with that Altaria, and it's just gone, completely wasted. And now we have, I think both these moves. Again, I'll put on the screen. I believe they're both neutral, and we time out, but we have a health advantage, so we win. So we were able to dodge a bullet there because those Grass Knots would have devastated our Stunfisk. And so by swapping out just at the right time, we avoided danger and we took that match. All right, 4th game. Let's see if I can apply this actual strategy to beat Azu this time. Again, this was before I studied it, so I don't know it at the time, but I do the correct move. I shield. That was good. Okay, and then I go Bubble Beam again. And the correct play is to shield again, but I don't, because I don't, at this point in time, I didn't know that I should have shielded this one. I was hoping I could just outlast it. And again, after the 2nd Bubble Beam, you should just go Ice Beam. So again, I'm not at here, but then they switch out, so they totally saved me with my poor play. They switched out, which totally, like, you know, gave me a pass. And so I was able to land a Bubble Beam on the Vigoroth, which lowered its attack, which means the body slams are not doing hardly any damage. That's why Mantine is so awesome, because you can, if they swap out, you can weaken their switch in, and then come in with whatever Pokemon you have and just take way less damage. And it's so nice. It flips matchups totally. What I mean by that is, like, it makes matches you would have probably lost or had to burn shields to easier wins. So like from a loss to a win, or from like a 1 shield win to a 2 shield win, or whatever, a 0 shield win. That's what I mean. Okay, so Azu comes in and throws an Ice Beam. We come back in with Mantine, and they like auto switch to Registeel, but this is fine because we can just throw Bubble Beams at it, and the Flash Cannons are not going to do a lot of damage. So totally fine with this matchup. I don't need to shield, and I have low battery. It's an old phone, so I get low battery so many times. It's just like something I'm used to at this point. Okay, so we lose the Mantine finally, and then we come back with Stunfisk. And again, because his attack is lowered, I don't need a shield. It would be a waste of a shield to do that. So I just farm up, And then I see they come in with the Azu, yeah, and so I throw Discharge right away. And he takes it. I don't know if he thought he was catching a Mud Bomb or not, but yeah, I saw the switch, so I threw Discharge. Okay, so now I'm back in my Skarmory. Yeah, that was kind of dumb, but I threw, but Stunfisk. I was about to say Whiscash because they're so similar, but Stunfisk comes back in with the Mud Bomb, and we time out again, but we win, so who cares? And yeah, so so there you go. In the future, I am gonna, like, when I do show a Mantine versus Azu lead, I will play it correctly. But in this 5th game, okay, here is where this is a pretty easy matchup. It's not like hard. You can throw a Bubble Beam, and they're most likely not going to shield. And then just try to land an Ice Beam, just like with Altaria. Just try to surprise them with an Ice Beam. A lot of times they won't shield, and so you'll see here. And probably didn't need to shield that, but I was just playing it safe just because I hadn't landed an Ice Beam yet. So I wanted to just play it safe. So we go for the Ice Beam and we land it. So that's perfect. Now I don't need to shield anymore because the Vigoroth will go down. I can just farm it down. And yeah, now we have energy. And so next we'll come in with the Azumarill. And here's where I make my inexperienced mistake. I threw a Bubble Beam off. I should have kind of been paying attention to how many I threw off because I make a mistake in the next matchup. So I throw a second Bubble Beam, so that's 2. You need to remember that. 2 Bubble Beams. So now its attack stat is lowered twice. And by the way, you can only do it 4 times. Like you can only lower someone's attack or defense by 4 stages. And when it says, like, for example, if it says attack falls harshly, that's 2 stages. If it just says attack falls, that's 1 stage. Now here's a shield. I made a mistake. That was very, very stupid because I had a fully healed Stunfisk, which can tank a normal Hydro Pump, which is the most hard-hitting move. But that Azu had 3 attack debuffs. I had no business shielding that. Even if it was a Hydro Pump, I could have totally tanked that, no problem. So that was my mistake, and you're going to see it comes back to bite me in the butt at the end of the match. So we have Skarmory. This is not a good matchup for us because we're weak to the electric. Luckily, it doesn't have Thunderbolt or whatever the light, like electric charge move is, but it does have, yeah, Superpower and Rock Slide. Okay, so now we're coming back in to like the final stretch of the match. Had I been equipped with 1 more shield at this point, I would have been in a much better spot. But because I wasted that shield, totally wasted that shield on the on the Azu, oh, that was so dumb. Totally just not paying attention. That was my mistake. And so you see here the switch clock, the timer of the match is starting to come up. I believe it just popped up. Yeah, so it's already showing, and I was farming. I wasn't paying attention. I should have threw that Mud Bomb earlier because I would have had more health and I would have beat the Azu with the timeout. And yeah, so definitely made 2 mistakes there. 1, shielding the Stunfisk against Azu, and 2, not paying attention to the clock timer. And we should have won that one. That was an easy match to win. But anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys are learning stuff about this Mantine lead and how to, win the lead against different Pokemon and how the debuffs affect your other Pokemon. So hopefully, if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below and like it again and subscribe if you really liked it. And I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.